Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So in 2009, um, I was investigated and I sold to a confidential informant three times. When I was arrested, I thought it was just a routine traffic stop, but I sat in the cell for hours and then realized that it was much more. I was charged with possession with the intent to deliver twice, and then another charge as well as a party. Um, I sat in jail for 2 months, and while my dad kind of worked on my behalf, and my dad ended up putting up his house to bond me out. And so 2 months after I was arrested, I bonded out. I made up in my mind. I said I vowed that I was going to turn the straight and narrow and not do anything else. But while out, I ran into a person that I had a previous altercation with during my street life and past life, and so things got physical with us. And after we got done fighting, I went and told my people. He went and told his people. We met up in the middle of the street and had this giant brawl. So I end up bail jumping and being charged with like numerous charges, but they end up pleading it down to just a felony bail jumping. Um, that violation. Oh, so all of this combined, I end up being sentenced to 1 year in jail with 4 years probation, with the condition that if I messed up, I would face 15 years in prison. And so again, I thought I was gonna get out and kind of change my life. Um, I got out 2010 in March. I believe in March 2011, I messed up again. I had an altercation with my girlfriend at the time, who's my current wife. But some stuff happened with the phones. Got caught cheating, and she possessed a lot of my belongings. At the time, I wasn't like completely out of selling, not the hard stuff, but just a different drug. And I made the decision to go in the house forcefully, and then I was charged with battery and misdemeanor damage to property and strangulation and suffocation to my girlfriend at the time. So this time I really messed up, and then I was went back in front of the judge, and I was sentenced to 5 years in prison. That year that I did in the county counted towards that, and I was fortunate to be granted the boot camp program. So it was in the boot camp program that my mind really to developed. I learned more about myself in 6 months than I did in my entire life, learning about criminal thinking, rational thinking, AODA. We couldn't watch TV. We could all we could do was read books. I got real deep in the Bible and learned about Jesus Christ, and that really just opened me up. And so um, I learned work ethic. I worked in the kitchen, and so I finished that program. Ended up saving 2 years inside, and I was released 2013. Um, After that, within a month, my wife now was pregnant, and although I faced many challenges, was being a felon, I was committed, and I had a child on the way. My son was born 2014. I walked into what's called the WIC office for an appointment. I went to this meeting. This meeting turned into a volunteer opportunity. This opportunity turned into a 10-hour job. This job turned into a 40-hour job. And this 40-hour job turned into this big program called the Dedicated Dads Program, where in the first year I had over 100 fathers go through my program. This caught the attention of the community. I got the NAAC Positive Impact Award, Young Leaders Award, 20 Under 40 Award. But one of the biggest things I got was when I connected with District Attorney Mike Gravely, and he got me back in court, and I was able to modify my sentence to be released 4 years earlier than I was supposed to. So wasn't supposed to get off till 2020. I got off in 2016, and thankfully that allowed me to be eligible for this pardon sooner. During the same time, I received a full ride scholarship to Carthage College. I got my degree in business management and marketing. I went back and got my master's the same year. It was a 10-month intensive program in business as well. Um, I now run my own business where I'm an author now. I go and do presentations, trainings, and workshops to organizations that work with families. I've spoken many times to the Department of Children and Family. I've trained at the state level and at the local level. I've spoken in several prisons locally. I travel and speak in the schools now. And I'm also excited that recently I started a position as an adjunct professor at at UW Parkside, and I'm teaching criminal justice. And every time I walk into the classroom, I'm just amazed at how much my life has turned around. And so all of this has, gained me a large following. I'm really big on fatherhood and reentry. I serve in this energy and I look to dedicate my life to it. I also got my real estate license and a life insurance license, but it was an uphill battle to kind of go around some of those things when you got the felony conviction, had to send in all of my records. And I know that like the normal person might take like 2 weeks or whatever, but mine ended up taking like 2 months. And so with this party in my wildest dream, I'll be able to use my influence to inspire more and possibly run for office. I got aspirations of running for office, maybe sitting a state board or some sort in some capacity the state. But that's a high level. But seriously, I really want to be a part of the school board locally and maybe even the county board and use my influence to just show that you can change and the people closest to the problem are closest to the solution. And I'm real big on that. And obtaining this pardon would allow me to start the process in that journey. Thank you for your time.
Do I have any questions from the board? No?
Well, wait. No, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see the really impressive letters of support you got from the DA and from the judge who sentenced you? Did you see those?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
To my sentencing, when I got sentenced with Judge Wagner, she really opened my eyes. She just said, did you realize like that what you did could affect a mother that can't feed her kids, can't pay her rent because she's spending her money with you? And although I went to college and I had some brain activity going, it just really didn't dawn on me. But having her, put that into my mindset gave me time to think inside, and I stayed connected with her even while inside. I wrote her a letter from boot camp. And then just to have these connections now, it's like I would have never imagined this in my wildest dreams, where I'm able to email the judge and the DA and tell them about certain initiatives I have going on. So how did it make me feel? It makes me feel I'm honored. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And part of it, I put the work in, but I'm happy that I'm reaping the rewards of some of the seeds I planted over the years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anthony, did you have a question?
I think really the only question, as far as with the work, what are some of your future goals that you plan on doing in the community the way you're working in now?
So I'm running my program. It's called the Fatherhood Franchise, and I'm kind of got it set up as through a nonprofit where I'm contracted with Kenosha County, and the fathers are referred over to me from child support. So I'm working with guys dealing with child support, reentry, and all of that type of stuff. For the past 3 years, I've had this same contract. I've been able to kind of get another contract, but a long-term goal is to possibly turn this into more of a nonprofit setup and get more buy-in from the community and apply for bigger grants so that I can serve the people that I represent more. Because right now it's like a one-man show. My wife helped me out. I got like an assistant, but it's becoming a little overbearing. So I want to scale this business to be able to serve more fathers in general. But to me, like fathers, where we come from, many of them have like a background. So fathers with background. So my big goal is to expand this and then go around the country, like getting other people on board. Like y'all need to be doing this because, in my opinion, mass incarceration is the number one problem that ripples into all the other problems in our school system and everything else. So, yep.
Thank you.
Judge Cremers?
Hey, good morning, sir. I understand the woman that was the victim in your domestic violence situation, crime, is now your wife.
Mhm.
Did you go through any kind of counseling or treatment programs as a result of that charge?
Yeah. So, side with the boot camp program, it was like an extremely intensive treatment plan. More so learning about myself. You know, I always tell the story about how I talked about my past and one time where my mom was cut from here to here by a guy, and how that really affected me. And I was able to share this in group and just break down crying, even though I was perceived as this like big macho guy. So that was like a real eye opener for me. And then post release, I had to do aftercare, and one of my requirements was anger management. And so just learning breathing techniques, learning how to pause, learning that everybody gets angry, but it's what you do after you get to that anger that decides if it's good or bad. So that really kind of helped me develop. So yes to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? I have just to clarify your program, Dedicated Dads. If you had to describe it in like one sentence, what that program does, can you sum up what the program is?
Sure. So it was Dedicated Dads when I was working for the Racine Kenosha Community Action Program. I left there in 2020 and branched out on my own. So now it's called the Fatherhood Franchise. And if I was to sum it up in the phrases, which is my tagline, is I help fathers and families flourish and live highly productive lives. And so that's like the short version, but then at the end of it is through trainings, presentations, and workshops.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have no further questions for you. Thank you for your application, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
Hello?